Alright, what's up, friends? Commish, Ace Coach 704, PEL, Primetime Elite League. This is Storyline Sundays. Little bit of a change up this week. So, Storyline Sundays this week will be Week 3 game recaps. PEL Live is going to move to Wednesdays going forward. Same time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, but we'll move it to Wednesdays. And really, I call it PEL Live, but I think going forward, it's just going to be the pre-produced stuff that, we were doing for Storyline Sundays. I've got a lot going on this year. Not only do I have my football stuff going on, but I've taken on the great responsibility of starting up our booster club back at my old high school. And that's taken a lot of time. And then the football stuff has probably doubled from what it used to be. We're really about to start a TV channel, which is a massive undertaking if you could, think about that. But really, it's a challenge to get all that stuff done consistently, and hopefully we are going to start putting some of this stuff on some other people. We're going to do the news article recaps also. That'll be on PEL Live Wednesday, along with the trade recaps and then the storyline players, because the draft has been released. But I'm not done working on it. I've got a couple more players that I've got to add on the defensive side of the ball, and you'll hear about them on Wednesday. Alright, so let's jump into the recaps here for Week 3. We still have, I think it's going to be, 2 games. Ravens-Broncos is scheduled for the morning, and then Jets-Browns, I guess, will be sometime tomorrow night. So once again, we're waiting on one game, and I'm just going to remind you, moving forward, we're not going to be waiting on one game, because that game does not have a time. So typically we won't wait for that. So this will be the last warning on that. Alright. So here in action, the Falcons defeated the Saints 19-13. Real tough, hard-fought game in the NFC South. Obviously, Drew Brees struggled a little bit with 2 interceptions there. No one really running the ball well. You might have to look at that on some sliders. Sanu had 100 yards receiving. And then defensively, you had a couple guys stand out. Vic Beasley with some sacks, and McLean and Jordan had a sack there. And then interception-wise, we had a couple guys with interceptions there as well. So Falcons go to 2-1 on the season. Saints dropped 0-3. Redskins, hard-fought game, defeating the Packers 28-26. Looks like it was a real back-and-forth affair right there. Both teams really focusing on the passing game. Turnovers are always the difference. Those 2 turnovers from Green Bay, no turnovers from the Redskins. They were able to get the victory there. Look at Aaron Rodgers, 329, 2 touchdowns, but those 2 interceptions I'm sure were big. And then Alex Smith being efficient like he always is, 11-14, 194, 4 touchdown passes. He'll be in conversation for player of the week, I'm sure. There's some running numbers, not too impressive, but that's a good average. A couple good averages right there. Receiving wise, Jimmy Graham with a big game, 8 for 102. Paul Richardson Jr., 3 for 92 and 2 touches. Vernon Davis with 2 touchdowns. Man, he's still around. He's got to be like 40, right? Good grief. And then defensively, let's see what we got here. We got a couple guys with sacks. And Josh Norman, big game, 2 interceptions. And then did he have a touchdown? Nope. We returned him for some good yardage. I see your comment, Blake. I'll throw that in there when we get to your game. Alright, Eagles and Colts. Eagles were victorious 24-9. I found out something about the Eagles, too, that's real interesting. I'll share that here in a minute. Both teams leaning towards the pass once again. Let's see how balanced we were here. Carson Wentz, 332 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. You would expect that. Blake Bertles, 303. 18-24, 17-28. Rushing, I don't know. It's going to be real close to that 30%. We'll check on that. But no, not a lot of rushing yards there either. Sure have had some big receiving gains. Marquise Lee, 6 for 125. Aguilar going over 100 with a touch. And then defensively, see someone with 2 sacks there. That's Brandon Graham, one of the best defensive ends in the game. Makes perfect sense. And then a couple interceptions there, each for both sides. All right, Bills and Vikings. I saw some of this game on Twitch. Buffalo won it 20-0. Great defensive. Oh my gosh, look at this. The Vikings had 22 yards of offense. I'm sorry for laughing, but I traded him DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, and they only had 22 yards in offense. 17 passing yards, 5 rushing yards. That has to be some kind of record. 4 turnovers. Oh no, this is domination by the Bills. That's very impressive. And then here you go, Kirk Cousins. 3 interceptions, 5 of 17. Good gracious. What is the secret in Buffalo? Josh Allen with a nice efficient game himself. But you know he was sacked 6 times. Good gracious. Well, there's McCoy running the ball, 20 for 87. That's good numbers right there. Receiving, of course, it's going to be all Buffalo. All poor DJ Moore. Leading receiver, 2 catches for 11 yards. Benjamin, 3 for 85 is the leading receiver there. And then defensively, we should have some good numbers here. Oh, there's Danielle Hunter. Y'all remember him from last Madden. He was a terror. 2 sacks in this one. And then, Trey White. 2 interceptions. I miss him. But congrats to Buffalo. Wow, 22 yards of offense. That is crazy. So here's Raiders-Dolphins, and it was a crazy situation with their connection. And you see Blake's message there. They played twice, and they had connection issues, and then they decided to just run it back entirely. And Dolphins were able to pull it out 24-17. Let's see, Derek Carr, pretty decent game. 14 to 17, 210, 2 touches, not bad. Tannehill, pretty average game right there, 172. And the rushing is not impressive once again. Receiving, Jakeem Grant, 6 for 82. And of course, he's a speed guy from the slot. Amari Cooper with a good game as well. And then defensively, we got a couple guys with sacks there. Farley, he was in a trade, so he's making an impact already. And then interception-wise, we had Baker and Garyon Conley, young corner, with picks. So, well-played game there. Hate the connection issues happen, though. All right, my game earlier, Panthers won over the Bengals 27-3. The numbers look real good for us, but I tell you, it was a struggle. The Bengals play a real aggressive style of defense, kind of like the old Patriots, where it's a lot of blitzing all the time. So, you know, after halftime, we were able to make some adjustments, and then our defense continues to play well somehow because we don't have great stuff. Cam had a pretty decent game. Dalton struggled a little bit. I hate Andy Dalton. That's not a surprise. Running, McCaffrey did have a good game. He was able to get outside a couple times and had some nice runs. Diggs was held under 100 for the first time this year. It was kind of disappointing, but I'm just kidding. But overall, pretty balanced receiving. And then defensively, I'll tell you who the star was here in a second, but Vincent Ray came free on a couple of those blitzes sometimes, and Dunlap got free one time, but this guy's going to be a star. Dante Jackson had 3 interceptions, and none of those were user. He was just in the right place at the right time, and he's played really well. He had a pick 6 against the Cowboys in week 1. That was huge. He's going to explode here soon. All right. Houston defeating the Giants 13-10. I saw some commentary on this game in the chat earlier. Heard some crazy Madden style things happening there, but once again, battle of turnovers. Giants 3, Texans 1. Less turnovers always gives you a chance to win. Looking at the game, breaking it down player stat wise, Giants played 2 quarterbacks. I guess someone got hurt or he sucks. Lauletta. Why are you playing him, Kyle? Because he has your name? I don't know. Anyway, Deshaun Watson with a good game. 17-27, 279 and a touch. Rushing, we'll have to adjust rushing. I just see it now. Receiving, pretty balanced receiving across the board there. And then defensively, we got a couple guys with sacks there and interceptions. A few guys with interceptions there. But tough played game, and Madden just kind of rears his ugly head sometimes. Another tough game here. Jags and Titans. Jaguars over the Titans 30-26. And I saw some more Madden chicanery in that one. Wild first half. Good gracious. Look at 26-21 at halftime. And then 9 points in the second half, all by the Jags were the difference. Wow. Got a little bit more running game in this one. But look at these turnovers, man. 9 turnovers combined? Good gracious. What a wild game this was. So obviously the quarterback numbers aren't great. Give Andrew Luck back to the Colts here. You're going to throw 4 interceptions with him. Hey, you don't need them. Just kidding, Jeff. And then Mariota, not bad. 15-21, but did throw 2 interceptions. Running the ball, Fournette, good average. And Lewis with a good average there. Y'all just got to run the ball more. At least in this case. DJ Chark of receiving. Y'all know how Jeff is with speed guys. Chark's a speed guy with height, so he's going to, chuck it to him a lot. 6 for 194, came close to the threshold. We did change the threshold on yardage, but he came close to it. 2 touchdowns. Corey Davis, nice game with 2 touchdowns, 6 for 70 as well. And then defensively, we're going to have a ton of guys in interceptions here. Ngakwe and Fowler both with sacks, both really good DNs coming off the edge. And, wow, okay. Thought we had more interceptions than that, but okay, whatever. Congratulations to the Jags for the win. Kansas City over the 49ers 26-13. Interconference battle right here. Garoppolo threw a couple interceptions. Mahomes with a good game overall, 13-17 for 213 and a touch. Kareem Hunt, good game running the ball, 19 for 79. Well, pretty good with our standards. Nothing real special receiving wise, and then defensively, we've got one guy with a sack, Solomon Thomas, and then a couple interceptions there. So congrats to the Chiefs for getting that big victory. We got let's see, Chargers over the Rams. This was a good game. I think this was the game of the week Daddy Leagues chose. It was 31-20, Chargers over the Rams. And when you look at this game, no surprise here. 3 turnovers are forced by Deontay. Only the 1 given up. Running yards, of course, with Todd Gurley, I would expect to see that. Looks like a back and forth game there. 14-14 going into the fourth, and then the Chargers were able to pull away. Phillip Rivers, 16-23 for 218. Deontay throwing the ball more this year. That's interesting. Jared Goff only 8-12, 132. Running the ball, this Gurley big game, 10 for 137 and 2 touches. Melvin Gordon kind of held in check there. And receiving, pretty balanced receiving across the board there, nothing special. I see your comment, Jeff. I'm going to get to it in just a second. Oh my gosh, look at these sacks. So Aaron Donald with 3 sacks, Joey Bosa with 3 sacks. Are y'all on aggressive rush in this game? And do y'all just agree to leave it on? God, nutty. And then we got a couple guys in interceptions right there. All right, so good, well-fought game between 2 good players in the league. I see Jeff's comment. You guys said he's got lucky and do need more rushing in the league. Yeah, we're going to look at it. I'll have to go back into the test league and bump the slider up some to see where we can get it where it helps, but it's not overpowering. So I'll work with that this week. All right, Seahawks big over the Cowboys, 35-14. Good defensive effort by the Seahawks right there, holding the, Dallas to under 200 yards total offense. No turnovers, only 1 for the Cowboys, but this is just a good effort overall by the Seahawks. Russell Wilson playing well, 257 yards, 13-20 for 1 touchdown. Prescott doing better, 2 touches, only 1 interception. But running the ball, it's surprising behind the Cowboys offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott only had 7 carries for 12 yards. That is really surprising. Decent effort by Rashad Penny there, but good balance. I like to see that. Receiving, pretty balanced across the board. No one won a huge game. And then defensively, we've got, let's see, 1 sack there by Mingo. and 1 interception by Shaquille Griffin. All right, so I think Seahawks are 3-0, I believe. Off to a good start. And all right, in our final game, we're going to look at the Patriots defeat the Lions 15-10. Close game right here. Lions with a good defensive effort, holding the Pats under 200 yards of offense, but 7 rushing yards? Oh, good gracious. Okay. But the Lions with 2 turnovers. Big difference in the game right there. Close games, turnover margin is what I like to see, and it usually determines who the winner is. Brady 16-24 for 193. Stafford 218, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I do remember the Patriots guys saying that they got a late interception to seal the game, so one of those was a critical one. All right, we're gonna have to get more running attempts out of the Patriots there. That's only 7-8. We gotta do a little bit better than that. But yeah, we're gonna address the running. I'm gonna work on it this week, so I won't beat anyone up over balance until I look at it. Pretty balanced across the board receiving wise in this game, and then defensively, we've got a few sacks right there by those guys, and Stephon Gilmore, probably player of the game right there, 2 interceptions. Good job. Well played game. All right. So, like I said, this is a force for the Steelers. We do need a new Steelers owner. If you know someone, please let me know. I do have a message out to one guy who's interested in the league in general, but he's kind of slow in responding. So if you have a recommendation, please let me know. We always check to make sure they're the right type of person. I've had a lot of people interested. I mean, it's probably been at least 10 to 15, but they don't have all this stuff together, so that's why we kind of hold back on openings. This is the force. The Bears will be in this week. I think he'll be in Tuesday, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So if you play the Bears next, there's a good chance you'll be able to play somebody. This game will be played tomorrow morning, and this one tomorrow evening. I wish I had a time, but I don't have a time. Last time, game's not scheduled with the time. We are going to sim it and move on. Okay, so this is the last week we'll wait. All right. Like I said, PEL Live, or I'm going to change the name of it, but we'll have our PEL show on a Wednesday night this week. It'll come out at 10 p.m. If I get done earlier than that, I'll release it when I get done. But that will have the trade breakdowns. That will have our storyline players in the draft class. And like I said, there'll be a couple more edits done to that before I'm totally done with it. And I believe that's about it, guys. All right. So if you're just now coming on, we just did game recaps tonight on storylines, week 3 game recaps. Oh, and let's do this. Let's go through the standings real quick because we hadn't really looked at that yet. We'll do that. All right. So let's take a look. We'll do it by division. That's how we do it. So the Ravens and Browns 2-0 off the good start so far. Browns do have a game, and the Ravens have a game, as a matter of fact, coming up this week. Actually tomorrow, I should say. Steelers, they're open right now, and then the Bengals are off to a little bit of a rough start. AFC South, we've got the Texans off to a good start at 3-0, and then the Jags are 2-1, so they're in second, and then the Colts and the Titans. So I expect the Texans, Jags, and Titans to really be tough here, and the Colts are going to have to rebuild from the mess that they made. AFC East, we got Dolphins and Patriots 2-1. The Bills 1-2, and the Jets are 0-2 and yet to play tomorrow. So we'll see if they can get to 1-2 and stay in contention in that race. AFC West, the Chiefs off to a 3-0 start. Chargers, Deontay 2-1. I expect those two to battle it out all season. Blake 1-2, tough loss tonight. Then the Broncos are 0-2, and they'll have to look to get that offense jump started here. Only 12 points in those first 2 games. All right, in the NFC North, we got the Vikes at 2-1. They got to figure out that offense, though. Only 12 yards of offense today in their game. Wow, that's crazy. Lions suffered their first loss on the season today. They're at 2-1. Packers 1-2, and then the Bears are 0-2, but they'll be in this week. NFC South, Panthers off to a 3-0 start. Defense playing lights out. Offense got it going today. It's a great time for a bye week, right? I'll come back and I'll suck again. Bucks are 1-1. Falcons are 2-1. Big win over the Saints, and the Saints are 0-3. All right, NFC East. We got the Eagles at 2-1. Redskins 2-1. Both with good wins today. Giants falling to 1-2 in that tough loss to the Texans, and the Cowboys are 0-3. And looks like they need to get some offense figured out down in Dallas. And finally, the NFC West, we have the Seahawks at 3-0. Really putting a hurting on some people. And they were really concerned up there, but they're doing well so far. The Rams are 2-1, but they're gonna be there in the end. I guarantee that. The Cardinals are 1-1. They're always a tough out. And then the 49ers 0-3. They got to get the offense going, and the defense has got to start to stop people there. All right, guys. That is storylines, game recaps, and taking a look at the standings. Like I said, Wednesday we'll have the show release with all the fancy stuff that I do with more storyline players in the draft, trade breakdowns, and we'll recap the articles that you've been posting as well. We'll go through those. All right, guys. Tomorrow's Monday. I'm sorry. Have a good week. We'll see you on Wednesday night. Thanks a lot.